The next month is going to be absolutely wild for cozy gamers, as this month sees the release of not only a ton of brand new cozy games, but also some of the most anticipated. And to top everything off, not only do we have rumors about a brand new Nintendo Direct coming to us soon, but also that this Direct might have news about a brand new Animal Crossing game. So it could be a huge month. Now, the first game I really want to talk about is actually Tales of the Shire. Now, this is releasing on July 29th, and even though I'm really excited for this, there are a couple of things you do need to know before you look to buy the game. And I'm going to be honest, this game release seems a little bit weird. I feel like there was so much more hype for it a year ago than there is now, even though we're just days away from the launch. And considering just how much this game has been delayed, I truly hope it's worth the wait. Now, if you don't already know, this is a cozy life sim where you get to live out your days as a hobbit. And this has all of your usual life sim stuff, but with a little hobbit spice added in, as you'll be able to decorate your home, tend to your garden, fish and forage. But seeing as you're playing as a hobbit, there is of course a large focus on food, as the main way that you foster relationships in Tales of the Shire is actually by throwing dinner parties. There's also an entire story that goes alongside of all the life sim mechanics, and this will see you try to get your town established as an official village in Hobbiton. But even though this sounds amazing, there are a couple of things to just note before you buy this game. The first big one is the fact that we haven't really seen much Nintendo Switch footage of how the game runs or plays at all, so that's something to bear in mind. And despite the fact that on the eShop this says that it's playable on the Nintendo Switch 2, the developers have used some very interesting language when asked about the Nintendo Switch 2 version, saying that the best way to play the game would be to play it on the Nintendo Switch and not on the Nintendo Switch 2. They haven't expanded upon this any more than just that one sentence that they sent in reply to a comment. What I personally think this means is that the game maybe won't look great, especially in handheld mode, on the Nintendo Switch 2, as it was designed to be on a 720p screen, so viewing it on a 1080p screen on the Switch 2 might not translate the best. I unfortunately don't think we're going to know exactly what to expect until we get our hands on the game, sadly, so just something to bear in mind before you buy it. The developers have also said that this is going to be playable on the Steam Deck. However, as of right now, the game is not Steam Deck verified on Steam. Another thing to bear in mind is that even though at launch they said this game was going to be available on Netflix as of day one, this no longer seems to be the case. I can't see Netflix being listed as a platform anywhere anymore, so just something to bear in mind in case you are looking at playing it there before you spent money on the game. I also assume that Tales of the Shire will not be cross-progression. So if you own this game on multiple platforms, you'll likely need to start a brand new save. Again, we haven't been given any information, so we'll have to wait and find that out on day one, but another thing to keep in mind. Next up, let's talk a little about the Animal Crossing rumors that are going around. Normally, I don't talk about these things, but because it's Animal Crossing, today we are. But it goes without saying, it's always best to assume these rumors aren't true and then be pleasantly surprised. But I absolutely love Animal Crossing, so I'm going to take any tiny bit of news and absolutely run with it. So the current rumor is that there may be a Nintendo Direct in the last couple of days of July, and that Direct may contain some news about a brand new Animal Crossing. Now, I do firmly believe that a new Animal Crossing is on the way. I don't think it's a case of if, but rather when, as this was the second best-selling game on the Nintendo Switch. Animal Crossing is a system-selling game, and if you look at any of my Nintendo Switch 2 videos, you'll see there is a ton of comments saying, I like the look of the Nintendo Switch 2, but until they do Animal Crossing, I'm not buying one. So even though I have hope, I'm not even confident we're going to get a Direct, let alone the Animal Crossing announcement. But you know, if it happens, I'm going to be so excited. Next up, we have Ritual of Raven releasing August 7th on Nintendo Switch and PC. Now, I've been very excited for this release, as this is a farming sim with a bit of a focus on a story as well, which ever since I finished Wildflowers has been exactly what I've been looking for. This is a cozy based farming sim where you don't actually do any of the farming. Instead, you use your magic to get these things called Arcana constructs to do the gardening for you. Now, the game itself begins with you falling through a mysterious portal. And even though these portals were designed to help people travel between different worlds, the ritual to make them went wrong. Not only making them unstable and spitting out people randomly, but also causing those involved to lose something precious to them. And after you fall through the portal yourself, you team up with a witch who's on a quest to find her missing familiar. This was a really fun demo, so I'm really excited for the full release. I just hope it runs well on the Nintendo Switch. Next up we have Discounty, which comes out August 21st. This has to be one of my most anticipated games for 2025, as I just adore not only the entire concept, but also the idea that this is going to be a life sim with a lot of drama. As this will see you take over your auntie's supermarket in the harbour town of Blomkest. But this is not your ordinary shop sim managing game, as even though you can do all your usual tasks like ordering in stock, stacking the shelves and working the tills, there's also going to be a whole lot of small town drama. And the issue is, this is a life sim and a shop management game, so your day doesn't end when you close the store. And all of the decisions that you make within the supermarket walls will come to haunt you when you leave the shop. And you get to see your relationship with each of the townspeople change as your business begins to grow. And this mix of shop sim management, life sim elements, and drama is something I cannot wait to get my hands on later in August. And thankfully, we also got the news that this is releasing the same day on Nintendo Switch and PC. Next up we have Is This Seat Taken? Now, we already know that this is coming to Nintendo Switch and PC, but we just don't know when. All we've been told is sometime in August. Now, I love a good puzzle game, and this one seems particularly unique, as every single one of the puzzles is actually to do with placing each of the picky characters into their correct seats. And it's your job to try and make everyone happy. Now, at the beginning of the game, this can be pretty simple, and just include trying to place people next to their friends. But the further you progress through each of the levels, the more complicated things get. And the way the game really switches up the puzzle style is changing the scenarios. So the first couple of levels takes place in cars and limos, but we also got to see some levels take place in the cinema, which is where things got really interesting. With one character requesting to sit next to someone with popcorn so they can steal it. Other characters will have giant hats on where you can't place anyone behind them, otherwise they won't be able to see the screen. And your usual picky person with really specific seat requests. The demo was fun, it wasn't a frustrating game whatsoever, but still got you to think. I can't wait to see how this plays on the Nintendo Switch, and hopefully we get a date soon. Next up, we have Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar, which comes out August 27th. And this is actually the only game on this list with not only a Nintendo Switch release, but also a confirmed port for the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, this is actually a remake of the original Harvest Moon Grand Bazaar that first released on the DS in 2008. And this seems to be a farming sim with a little bit of a difference, as not only will you be able to run your very own farm, as you can do in every other Story of Seasons game, but where the gameplay really shakes things up is what you do on the weekends, as this is Market Day. And this is where you get to sell everything that you've made and produced on your farm at your stall. And the story focuses around you trying to restore the town back to its former glory. And as you progress through the game, improving your own farm and your market stall, which you can even decorate, you'll attract more people into the town who might decide to stay if they like it enough. From what we've seen so far, this seems to be a big improvement for the Story of Seasons franchise, not just in the way the gameplay looks, but also in the fact that they finally added some voice acting. And thankfully, we don't have very long to wait to see if this lives up to all of our expectations. Next up, we have Kirby and the Forgotten Land DLC on August 28th. Now, I absolutely loved Kirby and the Forgotten Land on the Nintendo Switch, so I'm really excited to see what this DLC actually adds to the game and how this plays and looks on the Nintendo Switch too. And in case you didn't already know, the DLC comes with not only the brand new story, but also improved graphics and frame rate for the original game as well. Now, I've already got to play this before at the Nintendo Switch 2 event, and from what I could gather, the DLC involves a meteor striking the world. And this means that Kirby needs to go through all of the main levels all over again to try and uncover the mystery. And this changes up the main levels not only in how they look and play, but also gives you a brand new mouthful mode as well. It's unclear just how much gameplay you're going to get out of your money as of right now, but hopefully this is a little bit more interesting than the Mario Party DLC, because that didn't really sell me on it. The final game on today's list is Tiny Bookshop, which is releasing on August 7th, but sadly, as of this moment, it is still a PC exclusive. But I know so many people were looking forward to it, so I had to include it. This is a narrative management game where you leave everything behind to set up a tiny bookshop by the sea. And this will see you travel to picturesque locations and run your very own bookshop. But there's way more to this game than just stacking books. Because each day your store will be visited by the locals, who in time you not only get to know their wants when it comes to reading, but you also start to learn all about them. And it's up to you to use everything you know about the locals to try and predict what they might want to read and stock your shop with those books. And you can use everything you've learnt about the locals to try and make sure they pick up the right book for them. And even when your shop closes, there's still plenty to do, as not only can you purchase brand new books to put on your shelves, but you can also get decorations and decorate your tiny bookshop as well. But I think by far my favourite part of this game is the fact that every single one of the books you have is a real book. So when you read the blurbs to try and find the perfect book for your customers, if you come across a book that looks particularly good and something you might want to read yourself, you can then go and find it in real life and get stuck in. This is the true definition of a cozy game, and I just hope it makes its way to consoles soon. That's it for all the games coming up in the next month or so. Let me know which one you're the most excited for in the comments down below. And if you want to catch up on all of the biggest cozy game announcements, click this video here.